Pause for a moment and take a slow breath. Before you continue scrolling, you need to hear this in complete silence, because it is not an accident that you arrived here at this exact moment. Nothing in the universe happens by mistake. Even the algorithms, as mechanical as they appear, often respond to unseen energetic signals that your own intention has already sent out. There are times in life when the heart senses something long before the mind can explain it with logic or facts. And this is clearly one of those important moments. You are here because while you keep doubting, while your mind keeps creating endless questions about whether this person still thinks about you, whether something unresolved still exists between you, or whether the connection is truly over, something deep has already changed on a spiritual level. It was not a conversation you could hear. It was not a message that appeared on your phone. It was not even a visible sign in the physical world around you. It was a quiet, inner, and powerful decision made in a place you cannot see, because it happened in silence on the other side. And you are hearing this now because your soul needs to understand what this invisible shift means for your own journey. For days, weeks, or even months, you may have felt a strange pressure in your chest, a subtle uneasiness you could never fully explain. It feels as if something is forming, as if you are waiting for a message that never comes, with the strong sense that the story is not finished, yet not moving forward either. This physical feeling, the tightness in your throat or the sudden waking in the middle of the night, is not a sign of weakness and not something you imagined. Silence can weigh heavier than any loud argument or spoken word. When the soul becomes restless like this, it is not because of emotional drama, but because it knows with a certainty the mind wishes it had that something is about to surface. Your energy senses a shift in the frequency of the connection. Just as radar notices movement long before the eyes can see anything, the person who has filled your thoughts is no longer lost in the confusion you believed they were in. They are no longer doubting the same way. They are no longer standing in that lukewarm space where everything felt possible, but nothing became real. There was a recent moment, maybe during a sleepless night, maybe during a quiet drive, or while staring into empty space, when this person finally faced their own emotions and chose a direction. And this is what you need to allow into your awareness now. This choice did not come from ego, fear of being alone, or the need for comfort. It came from something much deeper and much older. When two souls are meant to meet and grow together, they cannot run from that bond forever. They can resist. They can pull away, create distance, hide behind silence, and act as if nothing matters. But eventually, there comes a breaking point where the built-up energy no longer allows the truth to be ignored. And that moment has already happened. You feel this restless energy and quiet anticipation because your soul is deeply connected to theirs. Physical distance does not matter. Time without contact does not matter. What was said or left unsaid in the past does not matter. Some bonds exist beyond words and cannot be destroyed by pain, misunderstanding, or temporary choices. When a decision is made from the deepest part of being, the other soul always senses it, even without proof that logic can accept. That is why you suddenly remember their voice for no clear reason. That is why thoughts of them appear while you are busy with daily life. That is why you dream of them even when you try to shut your mind down before sleep. This is not obsession. It does not mean you are stuck. It is a real and living connection, a sign that the spiritual channel between you is still open. Many people believe that soul connections or destined love are always gentle, easy, and clear, like a perfect story. But spiritual truth is very different. Real love, the kind that transforms who you are, often shakes everything you thought was stable. It creates discomfort, forces growth, and brings hidden wounds to the surface so they can be healed. During their time away, this person had to face all of that. They had to look at themselves honestly, without masks, and ask whether they would keep running from their truth or finally accept what they have always felt for you. You may have believed they were still indecisive, still frozen in the same place, but that is no longer true. The decision has already been made. Even if you do not yet see it in physical action, it already exists and vibrates on a higher level. And when something is decided there, the physical world only needs time to align with it. This message is not here to give false hope or trap you in waiting. It is here to bring clarity to what your intuition already knows. Some decisions are not endings, but turning points. Some distance is not rejection, but preparation. And some silence, like the one you endured, is not abandonment, but inner restructuring. This person needed space to decide if they were ready to face the depth of what they feel for you. And they finally did. Now notice what your body feels as you take this in. Do not analyze it. Feel it. The body speaks truth. The soul does not lie. If you feel calm mixed with anticipation, it is because this resonates with your higher self. If tears rise, something heavy is being released. If a tight feeling loosens, it is because truth has touched a wound that is ready to heal. You are not waiting on confusion. You are inside a sacred process where energies are aligning so that what has been decided can appear at the right time. To truly understand what is happening, you must look closely at the silence that hurt you so deeply. In a world that demands instant replies, silence is often mistaken for lack of care. But in deep connections, silence is one of the most active spaces of inner work. This person did not pull back without reason. It was not sudden or careless. It came from a long, quiet struggle between their heart and their learned fears. They tried to move on, distract themselves, stay busy, and even connect with others. Yet nothing removed the feeling that something with you was incomplete, like a door that refused to close no matter how hard they tried. For when a connection is genuine and carries spiritual roots, it cannot simply be replaced. Someone may try to ignore it. They may try to drown it in noise or distractions, but it cannot be erased. Every failed attempt to escape, every distraction that ended with a quiet sense of emptiness, slowly pushed this person closer to an unavoidable moment of choice. Some decisions are not announced loudly. They do not arrive with dramatic words, long explanations, or public declarations. Instead, they are felt in the heavy weight of everyday life. This person began to feel the painful burden of not being honest with themselves anymore. They slowly understood that the emptiness inside them did not come from physical distance, but from inner rejection. Denying what they truly felt for you drained them deeply on an energetic level. It stole their peace. There came a moment when continuing to live inside that self-created illusion became unbearable. Suppressing real love requires an enormous amount of energy, and this person simply ran out of strength to keep pretending. During your darkest nights, you may have questioned yourself endlessly. You may have wondered if you said the wrong thing, if you revealed too much, if you were too open, or if your love was too strong and frightened them away. But I want you to hear this clearly and release yourself from that weight. It was not your depth that caused the struggle. It was not your love that created the distance. It was their temporary inability to hold the intensity of what they felt. Some souls need time to learn how to receive what they have always asked life for. When the gift finally arrives, fear can take over. Fear of not deserving it, fear of losing it, and the first reaction then becomes self-protection and emotional withdrawal. This person had to confront very old and deeply rooted fears. Fear of losing control over a carefully structured life. Fear of fully surrendering and allowing vulnerability. Fear of repeating painful patterns from the past they hoped to avoid forever. Fear of not being able to meet the level of honesty and openness that this connection demanded. In the middle of this emotional storm, they chose distance. Not because they felt nothing, but because they felt too much. For someone unfamiliar with emotional depth, intensity can feel threatening. Yet time passed, and time has its own quiet wisdom. It places everything into perspective. As days and nights moved forward, clarity slowly arrived. When distractions lose their shine and outer noise fades, the inner voice grows louder. In that deep silence, they realized that pulling away did not bring the peace they were searching for. Postponing truth only built guilt and a painful longing. They understood that what happened between you was not an accident or a brief emotional confusion. It was a meaningful encounter that divided their life into before and after. The decision they recently made is not shallow. It is not simply about sending a message or arranging a meeting. It is an existential choice about how they want to live from this point forward. It is a decision to stop betraying their inner truth and to accept that some connections are not meant to fit into neat plans, but to transform and break old patterns. And you were, and still are, the central catalyst of that transformation in their life. That is why you may have recently felt a strange emotional exhaustion, as if you no longer wanted to fight, as if you finally lowered your guard, as if something inside you released the need to control the outcome. This tiredness is not defeat, sadness, or giving up. It is spiritual maturity. It is your soul saying, "I have done my part, I have sent the signal. Now I trust the greater movement." And when control is released, energy begins to move differently. Resistance fades, allowing flow to return. Do not assume that this inner decision means everything will suddenly become perfect or immediate. Destined connections rarely follow straight lines. There may still be pauses, adjustments, and moments of silence needed for full healing. The difference now is that doubt no longer dominates. Once the heart decides, the direction of energy shifts. It begins to move toward truth like a river drawn to the sea, even if the rational mind still resists. Even if this person is still arranging practical matters, closing old chapters, or facing consequences of past avoidance, they are no longer emotionally divided. They are no longer running without direction. They now understand what they feel, and that acceptance changes everything. True love does not always arrive wrapped in certainty and comfort. Sometimes it comes after storms, lessons, and pain that teaches what no longer serves us, so we can recognize what truly does. During this time apart, growth happened on both sides. Even in silence, even without contact, evolution continued. You are not the same person you were at the beginning of this story. You have learned to trust your intuition more deeply. You have learned to create healthier boundaries. You have learned that love does not need to be begged for because your worth is inherent. You learned how to stand when you felt close to falling. All of this was necessary so that when paths align again, they do so from a more conscious and balanced place. Nothing you experienced was wasted. Every tear, every unanswered question, every attempt to release, every emotional return, all of it contributed to a larger process of inner transformation. Now this process is entering a new stage, where this person's inner decision begins to resonate with your own growth. That is why you must learn to sense movement, even when your eyes only see silence. Reality forms quietly before it appears openly. For this clarity to emerge, this person had to face an inner opponent that lived within them, something psychology understands deeply and which explains their initial retreat. It was never about you, it was about their shadow. To truly understand the separation and what has now shifted inside them, we must explore this hidden aspect. During the silence, you may have believed you were not enough, or that interest had faded. The truth is the opposite. They moved away because your presence forced them to face parts of themselves they had long avoided. The shadow, as described by depth psychology, is not something evil. It is made of all the parts we hide to survive: fears, insecurities, unexpressed vulnerability, and even unrealized potential. Before meeting you, this person lived in a way that kept those hidden parts safely locked away. By being with you, that inner bag could no longer remain closed, and that is where everything truly began. They had built a functional identity, a kind of social mask that allowed them to move through daily life without having to face their deepest wounds. But then you appeared, and your arrival was not simply the arrival of another romantic possibility, it was the arrival of a strong and revealing light. When two people connect on such a deep spiritual level, the mirror effect naturally appears. You became a clear mirror in which this person saw themselves reflected with unsettling honesty. When they looked at you, they did not only see your kindness or your beauty. They also saw, in contrast, everything that remained unresolved within them. Your ability to love without holding back exposed their fear of surrender. Your honesty exposed the lies they had carefully told themselves. Your courage to feel highlighted their avoidance of emotional depth. It is important that you truly understand this so you can stop blaming yourself. Light, when it is intense and sudden, can blind someone who has lived too long in darkness. The natural reaction of someone blinded by strong light is not gratitude for clarity, but fear, followed by retreat into familiar shadows. This is exactly what took place. Their escape was not a rejection of you. It was a defense against being exposed. Around you, their usual emotional armor stopped working. They felt emotionally naked, vulnerable, and out of control. And for someone who built their life on control and the image of strength, vulnerability feels like a threat to survival. That is why the distance felt sudden and impossible to logically explain. They could not say, "I am leaving because what I feel is too strong and it terrifies me." So instead, there were excuses, silence, and unclear explanations that left you confused and questioning yourself. Carl Jung once said that one does not become enlightened by imagining light, but by making the darkness conscious. And that is exactly the painful yet necessary process you triggered in this person's life. You were the catalyst for their awakening. A catalyst is something that speeds up a reaction. Without you, this person might have stayed asleep inside their emotional routine for years, even decades. Your presence accelerated everything, and when distance happened, it removed their ability to project discomfort onto the relationship itself. While you were there, they could blame the connection for their inner chaos. When you were gone and the chaos remained, they had to face the truth that the conflict lived inside them. The silence between you became an echo chamber, where their own inner voice grew louder and unavoidable. This is where the pain of separation takes on a deeper meaning. True love, especially at the moment of recognition, is rarely comfortable. It comes to break old ego structures and create space for something more authentic. This person had to face their shadow alone. They had to confront fears of abandonment, feelings of not being enough, and long-standing patterns of self-sabotage. This kind of inner work is exhausting. That is why during separation they may have seemed cold, distant, or even irritated. It was never anger toward you. It was frustration directed at themselves, the pain of dismantling a false identity that had protected them for years. Growth hurts. Just as muscles ache when they stretch, the soul aches when it expands into new awareness. What you saw as indifference was actually deep inner labor. Once they experienced the connection with you, returning to shallow interactions became impossible. Everything that once satisfied them began to feel empty. Ordinary conversations felt dull. Relationships based on convenience felt meaningless. The seed you planted grew deep roots and cracked through the hard surface of resistance. This process of becoming one's true self is the greatest gift you unknowingly gave them. Without intending to, you pushed them to seek wholeness. We often believe that if love is real, people should stay no matter what. But there are moments when physical separation is the only way to protect future spiritual union. Had you stayed together during that time of fear, the bond could have turned painful and unhealthy. Distance became a safe container where both of you could face your own inner struggles without destroying each other. You had to learn to release attachment and discover your worth. They had to learn to release fear and face truth. Now, the dynamic has shifted because the shadow has been acknowledged. It is no longer hidden in the dark, controlling life from behind the scenes. By bringing the unconscious into awareness, this person reclaimed power over their choices. The massive amount of energy once used to suppress feelings for you, to build walls and act indifferent, has been freed. Energy never disappears, it only changes direction. All that force once used to escape has now turned toward acceptance. Resistance has dissolved because there is nothing left to fight. They finally understood that your light did not come to destroy them, but to heal them. This realization transforms fear itself. Fear no longer paralyzes. It becomes a sign that something meaningful is happening. They stopped seeing your love as a threat to freedom and began to see it as the path to real freedom. They recognized that the true prison was their own ego and self-imposed limits, and that the connection with you is the key that opens that door. This is a complete shift in perception. Where there was once danger, there is now safety. Where there was once the urge to run, there is now a pull to return. And home, in the language of the soul, is the unique frequency that only you carry. You must understand that you did nothing wrong by being intense or emotionally open. That intensity was necessary. Without it, this person would have remained asleep. You were the storm that cleared the air. Now that the inner storm has passed and the sky inside them is clearing, certainty remains. The decision mentioned earlier comes from this integration. It is no longer the wounded inner child making choices. It is the aware adult stepping forward. Someone who has seen their shadow, accepted it, and chosen love over fear. This inner shift is invisible to the physical eye, but it is powerful in the energetic realm. When resistance to destiny ends, energy releases like a shockwave, and you, connected through invisible threads of shared memory and emotion, are the primary receiver of that wave. That is why your fear has changed. That is why you feel a presence even without messages. The barrier has broken. Just like water bursting through a dam, the feelings they once suppressed are now moving toward you. But to receive this flow without being overwhelmed, you must recognize how this new reality is already showing up in your body and daily experience. Because once resistance collapses, the body is the first to sense the shift. Now that it is clear their inner resistance has fallen and their energy has stopped running and started returning, it is essential to notice how this change reflects in your everyday life. This is something you must deeply remember. Energetic changes of this scale are never unnoticed by someone who is sensitive and aware. When a decision like this is made at the soul level, spiritual silence breaks. Your phone may stay quiet, social media may show nothing, but the invisible channel between two connected souls becomes active, and you are receiving these signals. What you have felt recently is not imagination, not mental fatigue. It is the echo of a deep inner shift reaching you. It is real proof that the inner containment wall has collapsed. Let us first talk about emotional telepathy, one of the most surprising and deeply validating experiences that appear in this type of connection. There is a strong chance that you have already lived through something similar. You may be having a perfectly ordinary day, working, driving, talking with friends, or even laughing, feeling relatively calm about the situation in the background. And then, without any warning and without any visible reason, a heavy wave of sadness suddenly presses into your chest, or a sharp anxiety appears that seems to steal your breath. Or sometimes, the opposite happens. A sudden rush of love, warmth, or joy rises inside you so strongly that it brings tears to your eyes. When you look around and analyze what is happening externally, nothing has changed. No bad news arrived. No memory was triggered on purpose. And yet your emotional state has shifted completely, as if a switch was flipped. What you feel in those moments is not truly yours. These sudden emotional swings are what can be described as empathic resonance. Once the ego defenses in the other person have fallen, their raw emotions, regret, longing, and desire to return begin traveling freely through the invisible thread that connects you. They land directly in your emotional field. You are feeling in real time what this person is experiencing alone. Your sudden sadness reflects their pain of absence. Your anxiety mirrors their fear that they may have waited too long. Your unexpected joy reflects the hope that was reborn when they finally made their inner decision. This phenomenon becomes even stronger during sleep. The dream state is the realm where the ego rests and the soul communicates without filters. If you have noticed changes in your sleep lately, this is not something to ignore. Waking up repeatedly between 3 and 4 in the morning is not random or meaningless. In many spiritual traditions, this time is known as the moment when the veil between worlds becomes thinner. If your eyes open at that hour and the first thing you feel is the presence of this person, it is because at that exact moment, their consciousness is reaching toward you with unusual strength. It is very possible that they are awake thinking of you or dreaming of you so intensely that their energy pulls you into awareness on a physical level. Dreams themselves may have changed. They may feel more vivid, more realistic, more emotionally charged. They are no longer confusing stories without meaning, but direct encounters. Conversations continue where they once stopped. Looks carry messages words cannot express. Touch feels real. These are not simple dreams created by the brain to organize daily events. They are meeting points where souls connect beyond physical limits, where what cannot yet be spoken in waking life is expressed freely. Before continuing, take a short but meaningful pause. If you recognize these signs, if your body reacts as you read this because it reflects your private experiences, it is time to anchor this truth. This should not remain just information in your mind. It must become a declaration. I invite you to go to the comments and write one simple phrase, "I deserve." Writing "I deserve" is not a request. It is a statement of worth. It sends a clear signal to your subconscious and to the universe that you are ready to receive this connection in a healthy and real form. Write it with calm authority, not longing. This small action works like an energetic seal, confirming that you accept what already aligns with you. Now return here, because there are more signs you need to understand so that you do not doubt yourself in this final stage. Let us talk about synchronicities. This is the concept Carl Jung used to describe meaningful coincidences that cannot be explained by logic alone, yet carry deep personal meaning. Once the inner decision has been made within this person, the universe begins quietly reorganizing the external world to support it. It is as if reality itself starts adjusting to prepare the meeting. Suddenly, their name appears everywhere. You hear it in random conversations, see it on screens, or read it unexpectedly. Numbers repeat. Songs connected to your story appear at exact moments. These are not accidents. They are signals of alignment. The external world is responding to an internal shift. Your role now is not to chase or wait anxiously, but to stay centered, calm, and present. The more relaxed and grounded you remain, the easier it becomes for what is already moving toward you to arrive. What has been decided at the deepest level cannot be lost or delayed forever. It finds its way into form when the moment is right, in the way that serves growth, truth, and balance for both souls.